So here we go. There you go. It's Wednesday night. It is 9 p.m. Well, it's just gone 9 p.m. We had a little chat in the little in the lobby there whilst people were joining. Good evening, everybody. If you're joining live, if you're joining for the first time over on Facebook, let me know where you're viewing from. Massively appreciate you being here and being a part of the Acts on This community. I hope we can help you get further in your career faster, basically. So really appreciate you being here. Do this twice a week, once on a Monday night 9 p.m, once on a Wednesday night 9 p.m. On a Monday night we do something called Motivation and Mind Hacks. That is exactly as it sounds. It's a session from 9 till 10 p.m. where we focus on one area of life that's going to have a big impact on your motivation, on your mindset, ultimately help you be more productive, be more motivated, get shit done in and out of your acting career. And then on a Wednesday night, which is tonight, we do a book club, and I choose a book for 4 weeks at a time, and we read 4 chapters of it in the book club. And again, it's designed to help you get much further in your life faster. Now, for the first time ever tonight, I have come to the book club having not read the chapter I am going to read to you. So I don't know if this book book's going to be any good. It's been recommended to me by numerous people. It's by a New York Times best-selling author. And to be honest, what I did tonight was I judged a book by its cover. And I particularly judged a book by its title. And I really like the title. The title is You Are a Badass: How to Stop Doubting Your Greatness and Start Living an Awesome Life, by an author called Sincero. Don't quite know how you pronounce her name. I've got a little picture of her here for you guys. She's looking a bit sassy in this picture. She basically speaks her mind. She says it how it is. Here she is. There's the cover of the book that I judged, basically. I judged in a positive way. Jen is a #1 New York Times bestselling author. She's a speaker. She's a success coach as well, who has helped countless people transform their personal and professional lives via her newsletters, products, seminars, public appearances, and books. And random piece of information, she lives in New Mexico. So I don't know what this is going to be like, but basically I've bought the book on Kindle for £1. Right, 99p on Kindle. So if you like it, Tony Ross has suggested it to me. Says Fanny. There you go. It's a great book. Fanny's already talking about it, and Carly agrees. Tony has shared this on Twitter as well. Yeah, if you could, before we begin, guys, I'm going to read you chapter 1 tonight. And I'm actually going to read the whole chapter because I've skimmed through it. It's not that long. Hannah, good evening as well. But before we do, I would hugely appreciate if you could just retweet this on Twitter if you're watching on Twitter. This book is awesome, says Tony. Excellent. Wendy's here as well. She's tweeted it for me. And if you could share on Facebook as well, that would be mightily appreciated. Verona is here on Facebook, tuning in from Aylesbury. Staying here for roleplay, she says. There you go. Awesome, Verona. Good for you. Charlie's here as well on Facebook. Alex is back on Facebook as well. Anybody else here on Facebook, do let me know. I'm going to be checking in with the comments on Facebook regularly. I'm going to be keeping an eye on all you guys on Twitter and on Periscope, because those comments fade pretty quick. And yeah, I'm going to read you chapter 1 of this book. There's a bit of a preface to this book where she goes through really kind of deciphering how our belief systems and our mindsets are kind of cultivated and created throughout our lives. Those who've done the Bulletproof Actor program with me, we go into this in such depth. Ultimately, your current belief system and how you operate day to day in this world is entirely it's been entirely cultivated and created by your previous experiences of life. So if you have maybe you're an actor and you've got hang-ups on auditions, you've got hang-ups on remembering your lines, hang-ups on feeling like significant in this industry or not. You weren't born with those feelings pre-installed. You have created those in your mind via past experiences, a bad audition, a time you forgot your lines, being ignored by millions of casting directors in your head. That's how you kind of perceive it. So now you might be feeling a certain way, not because you were always destined to feel that way, but because life has kind of molded you and shaped you via those experiences. So there's a bit in the beginning of the book that goes over that, and ultimately Jen says, look, you need to go from wanting to change your life, because so many people just like, oh, I really want to change my life in some way, I really want to change my career in some way, I want to do this, and she's like, no, look, you need to stop wanting to change your life, and you need to decide to change your life. So you've got to start deciding to change your life. If you basically just decide to do it now. Who here wants to change their life and now on this right now can decide that they are going to do it? Anyone here not decided that yet, and you've just been wanting to change your life for ages, but you actually have never gotten around to it? Kevin's here for his first day on Periscope. All right, Kev, good to see you here. And Queen Surrey's here as well. Kev's here. He says, "Why are you so ugly? Please tell." You can't even spell, Kev. I couldn't even read the words there. I massively appreciate you taking time out though to join a scope and write comments like that. It's a really top use of your time. You should definitely stay on this and read this, and you should definitely decide to change your life. You probably want to change your life, Kev, but you can't be arsed. You'd rather stay in and troll Periscopes. But I'm not even going to kick you, my man. I'm going to let you stay because I hope this can actually make an impact on your life so you can do things for the better. And you're saying tell yous, please. It's tell us, please, Kev. You put tell U-S-E, please. It's us. The word is us. Tell us, please. Boy, can't even spell. But yeah, so Jen says, look, wanting can be done sitting on the couch with a bong in your hand and a travel magazine in your lap. You can want all you want, okay? But deciding means jumping in all the way, doing whatever it takes and going after your dreams with the tenacity of a dateless cheerleader a week before prom night. Kev here, unfortunately, I'm pretty certain he's dateless because he uses very disempowering language and trolls Periscopes. But yeah, you must decide and quit wanting. Otherwise, you're just not going to be able to change your life. You're going to continue to want for things as opposed to going out and making that change happen. So I'm going to start reading chapter 1, guys. Let me have a look. I've got it on Kindle here, so I've not got a book in my hand tonight. I don't really like reading off an iPad. But part 1 is how you got this way. All right. So Kev, this is. Look at that. He's just put, go and die for your family. Everyone on the audio experience, it's incredible, isn't it? Literally, I just want to say a shout out to you as well. But Kev, that's like such a waste of your time, pal. Please start using the life you've been given that you should be so grateful for to just do something decent and put some good out into the world, mate. Because he goes, I just a question. So his name's Kevin757. So everybody on Twitter and on the audio experience and the few hundred people who are going to be watching this, get yourself on Kevin5. When he says again, I can't remember what I just said then, those 3 numbers. Give him a bit back. He needs some help. Reach out to him. Try and help this guy. Part 1, chapter 1. Okay, subconscious, I can't even say it, made me do it. So it starts off with a quote, guys. Right? Is everybody ready for this? You all tucked in, ready for this? Kevin757, his name is, and Miss Caroline is here as well. Caroline, feel the love, Kevin, says Alex. Caroline, great to see you here. We're literally just going to start now. So Jen starts this book with a quote. She says, "You are a victim of the rules you live by." Does that kind of resonate with people? Are you making rules in your life now that are ultimately making you a victim? As opposed to a victor of your life, because you probably are if you're not conscious of the rules that you're making for yourself. And that was by somebody called Jenny Holzer. She's an artist, thinker, and blurter of brilliance, apparently. But she says, it starts off anyway, it says, many years ago, I was in a terrible bowling accident. My friends and I were at the tail end of a heated tiebreaker, and I was so focused on making a great show of my final shot, leaping into action, loudly declaring my impending victory, dancing and twirling my way through my approach, that I didn't realise where my feet were when I got let go of the ball. This was the moment I was to learn how serious the bowling community is about penalising those with one toe over the line. Who's done this when they're bowling? It's a pain in the ass, isn't it? When you're 10-pin bowling and your foot goes just like a millimetre over the line and you get buzzed or whatever. But this is true. This is a punishment that I've felt before. She says, they pour oil or wax or lube or something unimaginably slippery all over the alley, and should someone accidentally slide out of bounds while attempting the perfect hook shot, she will find her feet flying out from under her and her ass crashing down onto a surface that even an airborne bowling ball can't crack. Who's done that? Anyone done that before? Because it's bloody painful. I've absolutely done that. Gone flying when I've been 10-pin bowling, because I'm not amazing at it. But it says, a few weeks later, whilst lolling about in bed with this guy I met at Macy's, and I'll explain that in a minute, I explained that ever since my accident, I'm now waking up in the middle of the night with excruciating pain in my feet. According to my acupuncturist, this is from the nerves in my back getting slammed when I fell, and in order to sleep through the night, I'd need a new, firmer mattress. I have pains in my feet when I sleep too, he said, raising himself up for an unreciprocated high five. It's not just because I'm not into the whole high five thing that I left him hanging, but also because I was annoyed with him. I already find mattress shopping to be totally bizarre and embarrassing, lying on your side with a pillow between your thighs for all and sundry to see. But the fact that I had to do it with my salesman lying next to me begging for a high five was more than I could handle. So she wasn't in bed with a guy. She's buying a mattress because her back's bad. So he said, I couldn't help but notice that all of the other salesmen simply stood at the end of the bed rattling off some mattress facts while their clients tested out a myriad of positions, but not mine. He'd lower down next to me on his back, arms crossed over his chest, and thoughtfully chat away, staring at the ceiling like we were at summer camp. I mean, he was nice enough and incredibly knowledgeable about coils and latex and memory foam, but I was scared to roll over for fear he'd start spooning me. He just says it as it is. Was I too friendly? Should I have not asked him where he was from? Did he think I meant something else when I patted the empty space next to me to test the pillow top? I obviously should have asked Freak Show Bob to get off the damn bed or found someone else to help me, instead of sneaking out the door and blowing my only opportunity that week to go mattress shopping. But I didn't want to embarrass him. I didn't want to embarrass him. This is pretty much how my family was trained to deal with any sort of potentially uncomfortable interaction. Along with the fail-safe method of running in the opposite direction, other tools in our confrontation toolbox also included freeze, talk about the weather, go blank, and burst into tears the moment you're out of earshot. Anyone experience that? Anyone hate confrontation in public? Even like when it ain't your fault, you just end up apologising for everything. Who bumps into somebody and apologises even though, well, they bumped into you? Or like, there's that whole British thing. Tony, I don't know if you do it in the States, but we have this whole thing, after you, no after you, no after you. And that almost gets into fights. I'll let someone on the train in front of me, like, no, after you. And like, no, you. Especially if it's a guy. No, you. And it's just like, oh, God. Come on, man. We're all ridiculously British. When he says very British, yeah, absolutely. And Fanny just gives him an evil look, apparently. But yeah, we kind of got out of our way not to embarrass other people, even though they're the ones kind of like, you know, sometimes you should be embarrassed. But this is how Jen was trained by her family. Okay, it says our lack of confrontation management skills was no great surprise, considering the fact that my mother comes from a long line. Oh, I might have missed this acronym of WASPs. What does that mean? Maybe she's put that in the start of the book. I haven't read it. What's a WASP? You have to Google that for me, someone. Google what a WASP is. It's got to be an acronym for someone who's apologetic or something. Her parents were the types who believed that children were to be seen and not heard. And who looked upon any sort of emotional display with the same horrified disdain, usually reserved for cheap Scotch and non-Ivy League education. White Anglo-Saxon Protestant, says Bobby. Bobby, how did you know that? See that? The guy's just an absolute ledge. Hopefully you just... Oh, I mean, Bobby's got the knowledge. So she's a white Anglo-Saxon Protestant, something Protestant. No, Anglo-Saxon Protestant, that's it, isn't it? Excellent. So yeah, it says, and even though my mother went on to create a household for us that was warm, loving and laughter-filled as they come, it took years for me to finally learn how to form a sentence when presented with the blood-chilling phrase, we need to talk. All this is to say that it's not your fault that you fucked up. It's your fault if you stay fucked up. But the foundation of your fucked upness is something that's been passed down through generations of your family, like a coat of arms or a killer cornbread recipe, or in my case, equating confrontation with heart failure. So you might have had part of your fucked upness, well, you definitely have, passed on from your parents. Without a doubt, because that's your past experience. It's how your belief system today has been formed. Like I say, all this on the Bulletproof Actor program, we go into this in such depth, and we unpick it and effectively kind of, you know, rebuild your belief system by breaking down all of that stuff that's gone on in the past. But she says, look, when you came screaming onto this planet, you were truly a bundle of joy, a wide-eyed creature incapable of doing anything but being in the moment. You had no idea that you had a body, let alone that you should be ashamed of it. When you looked around, everything just was. There was nothing about your world that was scary or too expensive or so last year as far as you were concerned. If something came next to your mouth, you stuck it in. If it came near your hand, you grabbed it. You were simply a human being. All right. While you explored and expanded into your new world, you also received messages from the people around you about the way things are. From the moment you could take it in, they started filling you up with a lifetime's worth of beliefs, many of which have nothing to do with who you actually are, or were necessarily even true. E.g., the world is a dangerous place. Okay, you're too fat. Homosexuality is a curse. Size matters. Hair shouldn't grow there. Going to college is important. Being a musician or an artist isn't a real career, etc. The main source of this information was, of course, your parents. Okay, assisted by society at large. When they were raising you, your parents, in a genuine effort to protect you and educate you and love you with all their hearts, hopefully, passed on the beliefs they learned from their parents, who learned from their parents, who learned from their parents. The trouble is, many of these beliefs have nothing to do with who they actually are, were, or what is actually true. I realise I'm making it sound like they were all crazy, but that's because we kind of are. Most people are living in an illusion based on someone else's beliefs. Do you get that? It's just so ridiculously true. Mel's here on Facebook. Mel, good evening. Absolutely. It's Mel's talking about the troll from before. Mel, I love a bit of trolling. Don't worry about it. I don't mean I love to troll. I mean when the trolls come in here, it's absolutely fine. Kev, bless him. I think he got bored and he's gone on to somebody else now. Crap being passed on from one generation to the next, says Hannah. Mic drop that shit. Who's that? Who said that? I missed the comment there. Who was that who said that? But yeah, no, it is so true, isn't it? We're all, if we're not careful, living in an illusionary world that's been built up by somebody else. So your opinions, beliefs of the acting industry and just life have all really been passed. It's Evan, how are we doing? Have all been passed on by other people, your parents, peers in the acting industry, some like plastic wannabe actor who never made it, who's passing on some bullshit limiting beliefs because they never made it to you. And sometimes they do that because they're trying to protect you. Because like, actually, you know what? I've had a world of pain in this industry. I got nowhere. I feel like shit. I'm so insignificant. Everyone ignored me. I don't feel good enough. So I'm just going to try and protect you from all that. I go, nah, don't be an actor. Don't go for it. No, this industry's really hard. All this bullshit. It's like manners. We learn them because we're taught them. Says, yeah, Andy, absolutely, mate. So you learn all the good as well. Your parents, obviously, you've got to blame them for the good as well as the bad. How about getting our beliefs about our identity from our creator? Well, it's who you believe your creator is. Again, it's all belief driven, isn't it? So some people will believe in God, in an almighty spirit. Some people believe in the universe. Some people believe in science. And that forms, very much your actions on a daily basis. If you're incredibly religious, that's going to form moral beliefs as well. If you're not, you might go about things a slightly more scientific way. It's what is so incredible about the world because it makes us all so incredibly unique. And then through our own beliefs, we influence people younger than us, our kids' friends, ultimately generations and generations to come. So it's I just put the Jen Sincero back on the screen. I'm going to move my keyboard. I'm going to bring myself back on camera. Those in the audio experience, you wouldn't see that. But yeah, so let's have a look. So it says, until they wake up, which is what this book will hopefully help you do, and fingers crossed it will. Here's how it works. We as humans have a conscious mind and a subconscious mind. Okay, most of us are only aware of our conscious minds. However, because that's where where we process all our information. It's where we figure things out, we judge, we obsess, we analyse, criticise, worry that our ears are too big, decide once and for all to stop eating fried food, grasp that 2 + 2 = 4. We try to remember where the hell we left the car keys. It's all conscious mind, that. The conscious mind is like a relentless overachiever, incessantly spinning around from thought to thought, stopping only when we sleep, and then starting up again the second we open our eyes. Our conscious mind, otherwise known as our frontal lobe, doesn't fully develop until sometime around puberty. So you might have 11, 12, 13 years of your conscious mind being formed by life experience, how you see the world. Our subconscious mind, however, and this is interesting, on the other hand, is the non-analytical part of our brain that's fully developed the moment we arrive here on Earth. It's all about feelings and instincts and erupting into ear-piercing temper tantrums in the middle of supermarkets. It's also where we store all the early outside information that we get. The subconscious mind believes everything because it has no filter. It doesn't know the difference between what's true and what's not true. If our parents tell us that nobody in our family knows how to make money, then we believe them. If they show us that marriage means punching each other in the face, we believe them. We believe them when they tell us that some fat guy in a red suit is going to climb down the chimney and bring us presents. Why wouldn't we believe any other garbage they feed us? I still think it's mental, and I love it. The way that you can just tell children that this fat man in a red suit with a big sack and some reindeer is going to bring them presents on the 25th of December, and they do not question it. So you can't beat yourself up if you've formed other beliefs that are equally as insane from your parents. Because, I've just ruined it for Alex. She says, what, no Santa? Unfortunately, Alex, no, but don't let that ruin your life. But isn't it incredible? So, of course, when you're fed other stuff as a kid, you're going to believe it, and then that's going to form your subconscious mind as well. Our subconscious mind is like a little kid who doesn't know any better, and not coincidentally, receives most of its information when we're little kids and don't know any better, because our frontal lobes, the conscious part of our brains, hasn't fully formed yet. We take in information via the words, smiles, frowns, heavy sighs, raised eyebrows, tears, laughter, etc. of the people surrounding us, with zero ability to filter any of it. And it all gets lodged in our squishy little subconscious minds as the truth, otherwise known as our beliefs, where it lives undisturbed and unanalyzed until we're on the therapy couch decades later or checking ourselves into rehab again. Whew, touch wood, that ain't anybody here, but it's just really true, isn't it? How your subconscious can rule you from such an early age. I can pretty much guarantee that every time you tearfully ask yourself the question, what the fuck is my problem? The answer lies in some lame, limiting and false subconscious belief that you've been dragging around without even realising it, which means that understanding this is majorly important. So let's review it, shall we? And we do this in massive depth in the Bulletproof Actor program, but this is it in a nutshell. 1. Our subconscious mind contains the blueprint for our lives. Alright, it's running the show based on the unfiltered information it gathered when we were kids, otherwise known as our beliefs. And a belief for everybody here, when you say I believe, what you're actually saying is I am certain that's the way it is. So when you say, I believe it's really difficult to get an acting job, what you're actually saying from your conscious to your subconscious is I am certain that it's really hard to get an acting job. And it isn't. It really isn't, okay? It is if you tell yourself it is. 2, we are for the most part completely oblivious to these subconscious beliefs that run our lives. 3, when our conscious mind finally develops and shows up for work, no matter how big and smart and highfalutin they grow to be, they're still controlled by the beliefs we're carrying around in our subconscious minds. So no matter how evolved your conscious mind gets, unfortunately, kind of what's already happened in your subconscious is pretty much already planted there. And it will take a much higher level of consciousness to disturb that, but that's what this whole book is about. Our conscious mind thinks it's in control, but it isn't, okay? Our subconscious mind doesn't think about anything, but it is in control. This is why so many of us stumble through life doing everything we know in our conscious minds to do, yet remain mystified by what's keeping us from creating the excellent lives that we want. For example, let's say you were raised by a father who was constantly struggling financially. Anybody's dads or families here struggle financially constantly when you were a kid? My parents had businesses that really had issues from one time or another. That's absolutely formed my belief system around money and why I have to run my own businesses now and be completely in control of finances. Eileen's here, says, I'm pretty sure that children do not believe everything that is taught to them. I think they're more sophisticated than that. I teach them. Yeah, but they're going to be, but Eileen, their belief systems absolutely are going to begin at home. So you can have a great teacher at school, but I imagine you have kids in your class, so you'll have some brilliant kids, and you look at their parents, and their parents are probably brilliant. You'll have some terrible kids, and you look at their parents, and they're probably terrible. It's not a coincidence. They weren't pre-installed with this belief system in their mind. They absolutely have had it cultivated by experiences, and it will apply to you as well. Eileen, you might be carrying around limiting beliefs that you have been carrying around for 25, 30 years of your life that you're still dealing with, because at some point in your teens you had a dodgy relationship, some point at school you were told something about yourself, at some point people might have commented on your physicality, all kinds of things that, like, you know, we're never meant to be our own beliefs, but our subconscious honours for some crazy reason because we are told it at one time or another. And that's the case for everybody. I'm taking 100 actors through the program that I run once a year right now, and we're going through everybody's limiting life stories that they've created for themselves up to this point, and that life has created, you know, through that past experience. And these are people who are dealing with all kinds of things, and every single person can pinpoint times in their lives or times, you know, just in their past at some point, where these trigger moments have happened, and then, you know, they are still living with that thing today. You know, people were cheated on in their 20s. They're now 45 and they still don't trust men, or they still don't trust women. You know, when they had that relationship before they were cheated on, they trusted them implicitly. But now they've created this limiting belief that 3.5 billion men or 3.5 billion women on the planet are all cheaters because it's happened to them once. It broke their heart. It was such an emotional pain. They don't want to go through that again. So they've created this belief in their head to protect them that all men are losers, all men are this, all women are that, or whatever. It's absolutely so base in that sense. I trust everyone too much. That's my issue, says Fanny. Well, that's another thing as well, you know, in terms of, you know, everyone's trust is I guess is developed on previous experience of whether it's been a good out, you know, they've had positive outcomes or negative outcomes. But this is the thing about money, okay? So it says, for example, let's say you were raised by a father who was constantly struggling financially, who walked around kicking the furniture and grumbling about how money doesn't grow on trees, and who neglected you because he was always off trying, and for the most part failing to make a living. Your subconscious took this in at face value and might have developed beliefs such as money equals struggle, money is unavailable. It's important. It's money's fault that I was abandoned by my father. Money sucks and causes pain. Friend of mine is absolutely in this mindset because his parents didn't have a lot when they were growing. When he was growing up, they had enough, but he is so frugal with his money now because he saw his mum and dad struggling a little bit as he was growing up. He gets a lot of stick for being tight. He will not spend any money, because of his belief is that money is scarce. There is not an abundance out there for him to earn. And there really is for everybody here, if your relationship with money is a positive one. So, cut to you as an adult, it says, who in your conscious mind would love nothing more than to be raking in the dough, but who is subconsciously mistrusting of money, believes it's unavailable to you, and who worries that if you make it, you'll be abandoned by someone you love. You may then manifest these subconscious beliefs by staying broke no matter how hard you consciously try to make money, or by repeatedly making tons of money and then losing it in order to avoid being abandoned, or in a plethora of other frustrating ways. No matter what you say you want, if you've got an underlying subconscious belief that it's going to cause you pain or isn't available to you, you either A, won't let yourself have it, or B, you will let yourself have it, but you will be it says you will be real fucked up about it, as in real fucked up about it, and then you'll go off and lose it anyway. So you get that destructive behaviour from people as well who have had nothing, have made a lot, and then they just go and gamble it all, and they're spending $5,000. Footballers do this. They've come from nothing. They get 150 grand a week here in the UK, and then they end up in casinos, blowing 100 grand a night and sleeping with hookers. You're like, where's that come from? Do you not, it's all, again, going to be some shit they've experienced when they were younger. And we don't realise that by eating that fourth donut, or by ignoring our intuition and marrying that guy who's an awful lot like our low-down cheating daddy, that we're being driven by our subconscious minds, not our conscious minds. And that when our subconscious beliefs are out of alignment with the things and experiences we want in our conscious minds and hearts, it creates confusing conflicts between what we're trying to create and what we're actually creating. It's like we're driving with one foot on the gas and one foot on the brake. Obviously, we all have awesome subconscious beliefs as well, but we're not talking about those right now. Okay, so you will have empowering beliefs as well. Here are some other scenarios that may or may not ring true. Give me some yeses, or some no's if you experience these kind of things. So one, this is what your conscious mind would be saying: I long to find and marry my soulmate. So maybe that's what we all want, isn't it? Of course, that's what everybody wants. Super positive relationship. However, if your relationships have been shit in the past, okay, your subconscious mind might be like, intimacy leads to pain and suffering. And then the result of that, it says finger ringless. Okay? There's going to be no marriages there. Not anymore, but I used to, says Caroline. So Caroline, what's changed? What's changed? Evan says no. What's changed? Have you wanted to in some time, Evan? Gone, I really would love to marry a soulmate, find this incredible person in my life. Caroline, same for you. And why has that changed? Because it's gone wrong in the past, and now you're like, I don't want to do that again. Because your subconscious is like, that's painful. I've created a belief around relationships that they're bad, and you can't see anything but that. Or hurt a really loving mate by pushing them away, says Kate. I didn't see your first part of that, I'm afraid. Multiple partners for Evan. Polyamorous. A friend of mine, Adam Lyons, is in a relationship that's polyamorous. He's kind of like a bit of a dating coach, and he's pretty big online. He's done a load of press on that. But yeah, well, that's all right. You know, there you go. So your belief at some point, that's really interesting then, Evan. So your belief at some point will have been that marriage to one person doesn't work or isn't right for some reason. Because I guess people aren't born necessarily with that belief in. So that'd be really interesting to know if that was just something that triggered at some point. Caroline said I could tell you some stories as well. It's bloody hell, and everyone's what I'm looking into polygamous relationship. I don't know all of these. So many words for relationships, isn't there? But polyamorous, I think, is where you have multiple partners. Monogamy for me, all the way, says Vanny. But that's one way your conscious mind and your subconscious mind can conflict. Another one, conscious mind. I want to lose 25 pounds. So maybe there's people here who want to get a better body composition. You want to get in more shape, better shape. Subconscious mind, though, says people aren't safe. I must build a shield to protect myself. As in, like, you know, people are going to judge me. I don't want to go out into a gym where there are people, because so I think Evan said he tried relationship once, made him miserable. So that's formed a belief that that relationships to one aren't right, Evan. And then body is a fortress of flab. It says so. Your conscious mind wants to lose weight. Your subconscious mind is like, actually, people aren't very nice. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to be called a freak and fat, and people are going to stare at me in the gym, and they're going to hate me. So actually, I'm not going to do anything, and that just leads to you staying fat. Okay? Another one, conscious mind. I'm hot and sexy and want to get it on. Subconscious mind. Physical pleasure is shameful. So a lot of people who are religious are, I hear this a lot. Sex outside of marriage, it's really shameful. So it says result, sex life, yawn. So again, that's a conflict of conscious, subconscious. Last one, conscious mind. I want to travel the world. Subconscious mind goes, fun equals irresponsible. I won't be loved. Blank in terms of your passport. So these are conflicting beliefs. I say Alan Partridge there. Yeah, I'm a little bit like Alan Partridge, Andy. Sacrificial love, have zero reputation of the other person, just focus on you loving them. Very interesting. Isn't it funny how all of our belief systems around relationships and love is so complex? But, well, absolutely, that is one area of your life, I don't care who you are, has been formed by previous relationships or previous experiences of that. That's just without a doubt. So she says it's sort of like not being able to enjoy sitting on your front porch anymore because it totally reeks of something foul out there. You can come up with all these brilliant ways to deal with a problem, light incense, set up fans, blame it on the dog, but until you realise that something has crawled under your house and died, your problems will linger on, stinking up your life. The first key to ridding yourself of a limiting subconscious and subconscious beliefs is to become aware of them. Because until you're aware of what's really going on, you'll keep working with your conscious mind, think you need to paint the porch, etc., to solve a problem that's buried far beneath it, the dead skunk removal under your house in your subconscious, which is an exercise in futility. So if you're constantly going, you're making excuses for things, thinking that something's going to fix it or just paper over the cracks. Actually, got to realise your subconscious limiting beliefs initially and what how they have been formed. So someone said, "Who's this?" Said my voice is soothing. Thanks. It's a little bit like Alan Partridge for everyone in the UK, but I think that was that Kelly. But here we go. Good to see you, Kelly. If that it was you. So it says take a minute to look at some of the less than impressive areas of your life, and think about the underlying beliefs that could have created them. Let's take the old crowd pleaser, lack of money, for example. Are you making far less money than you know you're capable of earning? That's an interesting question, actually. Answer that for me. Are you making right now far less money than you truly believe you are capable of earning? Really interesting question, that. I'm making a lot more than I used to, but I still think I am capable of earning a lot more. How does everybody else feel? Let me know. Just try to get some comments on Facebook here from you guys as well. Yes, I could make more, said Kelly. I deserve more, says Caroline. Kate's having to think about it. Always, says the VO guy. VO's pretty good, isn't it, though? I earn decent living out of VO. Just get into VO, everybody. Or don't get into VO if your voice sounds like mine. Or VO guys, because you'll be taking work off us. I know I will get more, says Evan. I'm more interested in getting rid of stuff, says Kate, as opposed to having more. Well, yeah, I mean, it's also what you could do with that money. So that's an interesting take on money. You're saying money brings more stuff. I don't think it does. My belief system says money equals freedom credits and allows me to have a greater impact on the world. I don't want to necessarily buy things with it. I could donate that money. I could use it for other things. I could help people with it. I could create more content. So that's interesting, the belief system, money equals things. And we look at where that came from. Money can also take more, says Andy. Very true, says Kate. Yeah, isn't it great, though, how we all have such different beliefs? So yeah, let's look at this money one. Okay, so have you reached an income level that no matter what you do, you can't seem to go above? Does generating an abundance of money consistently seem like something you're not even physically capable of? If so, write down the first 5 things that come to your mind when you think about money. Is your list full of hope and bravado or fear and loathing? What are your parents' beliefs about money? What are the beliefs of other people who grew up around you? What was their relationship with money like? Do you see any connection between their money beliefs and yours? And everyone in the audio experience or watching this on the replay as well, do that as well, because you will probably find some links. I'm pretty certain you will. Later on in this book, I'm going to give you tools to go much deeper with your subconscious beliefs and fix whatever's blocking you from living the kind of life you'd love to live. But for now, practice stepping aside, notice what's happening in the dysfunctional areas of your life, and strengthen your almighty awareness muscle. Start waking up to the stories you're working with in your subconscious. I'll have to do things I hate in order to make money. I mean, that's like a big limiting belief. You don't have to do things you hate to make money. I feel trapped if I get into an intimate relationship. Again, you're never trapped. You've always got options. If I go on a diet, I'll never get to eat anything fun again. What bullshit. If I enjoy sex, I'll burn in hell with the rest of the dirty sinners, etc. Because once you see what's really going on, you can start to drag out the stinky carcasses, living under your house, remember, of your limiting subconscious beliefs and give them the heave-ho, thereby opening up the space to invite the fresh, new, awesome beliefs and experiences that you'd love to have, and you can ask for those and bring them into your life. And that's where chapter 1 ends. I told you I'd read the whole thing. I hadn't read that before tonight, but I agree with it all. I'm glad I agree with it all, otherwise I wouldn't enjoy reading the book going, actually, guys, I'm reading something here that I don't actually advocate. But yeah, I mean, I go like super in depth on belief. That's what the entire Bulletproof Actor program's about. But this is still super relevant. Sometimes you have to choose to be unhappy as not to be miserable. Choose to be unhappy as not to be miserable. What do you mean, Andy? Explain that again, mate. Maybe I just read that wrong. Let me see what else is going on Facebook. My dad always says, waste not, want not, Caroline Jane. I was brought up in the war. Oh, absolutely. God, my old man was like that on my mum, definitely, because of previous businesses of hers, that really didn't go well in the end when I was growing up as a kid, when I was like 10 or 11, like talking 25 years ago. She's still really limiting beliefs around business and opportunity then, and the landscape has changed so much with the internet. I mean, like, I'll say, I'm just setting up this new clothes company, aren't I? And she's definitely like, kind of a little bit more wary around what I invest in it and how I go about it and all this kind of stuff. And I know that's her trying to protect me, but it's based entirely on a belief system that isn't mine. My belief system around business is that anything is possible. The internet is incredible. I've already created 3 successful online businesses. I know I can replicate that and do it again. So my belief system is very different to hers, because hers is business equals trouble, pain, and financial crisis. Mine is business equals fun, enjoyment, meeting all you guys, all this kind of stuff, and wealth ultimately. So the 2 very, very different belief systems based on previously very different experiences. Kelly says her negative wolf is eating her alive. So we talk about your negative wolf in Bulletproof Actor, right? And it's from an old Indian fable about the battle of 2 wolves that goes on inside your mind every day. Your positive wolf and your negative wolf. And your positive wolf is all your positive emotions: happiness, joy, fulfillment, giving, benevolence, all these really, really great attributes. Your negative wolf is fear, anger, jealousy, envy, all these shit, inferiority, insignificance, all these terrible attributes that you might be feeling. And in the story, in the fable, this person who's telling the story, he's telling it to his grandkid, and his grandkid looks up at him and says, well, which wolf wins then? If the battle of 2 wolves goes on, which one wins? And he replies something very, very powerful. He says, the one you choose to feed. And so many people, unfortunately, on a daily basis are choosing to feed their negative wolf by what they think of themselves, the world around them, the beliefs they are taking in from other people on a subconscious level, taking bad advice, hanging out with the wrong people, using very disempowering language, internal self-talk that's disempowering as well. So many of these external factors turn into internal symptoms that just cripple you and just create more and more limiting beliefs in your life. And until you're aware of those beliefs, you can do nothing about them. So like Jen says in this book in chapter 1, just have a look at your beliefs right now. Have a look at where you are in your life, the success you're having in and out of your career. I know there's a lot of people on here who are actors like myself, but there's people in other industries, I'm sure, who've just stumbled across this, or if you're listening on the audio experience, you might have nothing to do with that industry. But in your life, if you're like, I deserve to be earning more, I deserve to be having more success, I am way better than where I am, I'm not seeing the results that I deserve, have a look at what is crippling your initial belief in your potential to have those things that you think you deserve. Because it's that belief in your potential that leads to everything else, and it leads to the action you take that dictates the results that you get, that dictates the belief that you then feed that potential with next time. And it's super, super powerful. If you can go through, actually, I don't have much money in the bank, I'm always struggling month to month. Just have a look at kind of what beliefs you have. Is your belief is like literally, I am not good enough to earn anymore? Why would I be paid anymore? I'm not worthy of that. I don't deserve this. And then you've got to, first of all, just acknowledge those limiting beliefs you might have, and they may have been fed to you by other people, previous things in life. And it's only then when you actually acknowledge them can we do anything about it, and we can tear them down, disprove them, throw them away, and actually use those same excuses that you were using for failure as reasons to propel you forward in the future. There's some exercises that I do in the program that I'm running for people at the moment, all about that, but I'm sure there's going to be stuff in this book, different exercises that I haven't covered before, and we'll use these ones that's in Jen's book. So I hope you liked it. What do you reckon? Is it a keeper? Like I say, I hadn't read that book before tonight. I'm more than worthy, says Andy, all in good time. I think people are afraid to go there because they can't stand being themselves, says Kate. Yeah, well, people just want to be something that they're not a lot of the time, because we have a real desire ultimately to be seen as great or to be seen as significant. And for a lot of people, they want to shortcut that. They want instant gratification because Kel says, I'm a keeper. Thanks, Kel. They want instant gratification because that's the world we live in right now. You want to put a picture up on Instagram and you want to get 200 likes on it within 10 seconds because it makes you feel good. And then that will fulfill your need for significance, when actually it's a really, really shit way to do it, because if you went out and did something that was way more impactful and had more longevity than a post on Instagram, you would have that feeling of significance for way longer. But people just want to have it now. They don't realise how patient they've got to be. Like Andy said, your time will come if you build something that's actually got longevity, as opposed to this instant gratification that so many people want. It's been a very nice experience, says Kate. Thanks. Well, thank you, Kate, for joining us. How did you find this scope, Kate? Let me know. Are you a member of Acts on This? Are you an actress? Or have you just stumbled across it completely by accident? Want to know where people are finding this. I wonder what happened to poor Kev. Kev the trolley was on before. He's gone. Definitely. Just stumbled across it, says Kate. What do you do, Kate? Let us know. Maybe just like totally random, not in our industry at all, but you are a human being, thus all of this stuff applies to you as well. Like I say, a lot of people who watch these are actors and stuff like that, but this applies to everything. You're a nurse. Well, thank you. Thank you for doing such an incredible job. Who is Kevin, says Caroline. Kevin was a troll who came on at the start and was trolling the scope, Caroline. And normally, I've never kicked anybody off this because I kind of like free speech. It's quite funny, but he couldn't even spell, bless him. So he tried to give him a chance at trolling me properly, but he just left. But yeah, definitely being a nurse, okay, is a proper... is a proper people person job. Brilliant scope. Randomly found you from Vancouver, Canada. VO guy. That's amazing. Well, will you subscribe and come back? We do this Monday nights in the UK, whatever time it is for you guys in Canada, and Wednesday nights in the UK, 9 p.m. Monday and Wednesday nights. Hit subscribe if you're watching on Periscope, or follow at Act on This TV on Twitter. Or come over to facebook.com/Act on This TV. We've got a page there. I've got a group of 6,000 actors in the Facebook group, VO Guy, and anyone else. He's subscribed. Excellent. Facebook.com/groups/Act on This TV. We've got actors from the States, from Canada, from England, from Miami, Tony in Chicago. It's a pretty international group. So come and join. Maybe you could help some people get into voiceover if you are the VO guy. I do a lot of voiceover, which is cool. Might have a new animation as well that I went for last week. Which should be 78 episodes of a BBC animation over here, which should be amazing. Not getting my hopes up though, VO guy, because there's been a lot of big names going for it, and I'm not a big name. But we can but hope, can't we? I did my best. Funny, I think I recommended this book to you on Twitter, says Evan. There we go. Amazing. Well, I just stumbled across this book. Like as I said, I've been recommended it a couple of times. Stumbled across it on Kindle. Bought it for 99 pence. And I just basically judged the book by its cover, fell in love with the title, You Are a Badass, How to Stop Doubting Yourself and Start Living an Awesome Life. I thought, well, that sounds pretty good to me. My family used to call me Fanny Adams when I was naughty, says Caroline. There you go. I read it at the beginning of the year, says Fanny. Who was Fanny Adams? I don't know. Literally no idea, Caroline. Amazing. Guys, thank you so much for spending this time. We massively appreciate you giving me attention. Even you, Kev. Like, genuinely, your attention is probably the most valuable asset you have. Your time. Thank you, like, so much for spending this time. I hope this has helped you in some way. And please pass on the knowledge, if you're like, actually, I'm recognising limiting beliefs in myself now. Pass on, that knowledge to recognising other people so they can recognise them in themselves, and we can all, have just a bigger impact. Life should definitely be greater than just ourselves, shouldn't it? That's why I do this. So yeah, thank you so much for listening. I'm going to be releasing a podcast on Friday. If you go over to iTunes, if you've got an iPhone or anything like that, or Stitcher.com if you've got an Android, search for Act on This TV, all one word, subscribe for free. It's called the Act on This TV Audio Experience. You'll get all of the audio from every live broadcast that I've done, plus exclusive interviews, phone calls I have with acting industry people here in the UK. Thanks, Evan. I do these 5 to Thrive episodes, which are kind of like personal development episodes. And again, it's lightly coated with the acting industry, but it all really applies to everybody, no matter what job you do. Nurse, voiceover, plumber, racing car driver, astronaut. If you're a human being, this stuff applies to you. Really, really does. So I'll be back on Monday night, 9 p.m. UK time. And those who are doing the Bulletproof Actor program, I'll see you on tomorrow night's VIP call. If you're interested in doing a super ridiculously in-depth version of some of the things we're looking at in this book, and you really want to bulletproof your mindset like to the top 1% of human beings, go to bulletproofactor.com if you're an actor, and I'm opening registration for that program up again in January. I only do it once a year, but everyone here who's on the program, who's a VIP on the program, there's a few of you. I will see you tomorrow evening UK time for our last call on the year. We've got 2 bonus calls, but it's our last official Bulletproof Actor call tomorrow evening. But it's been amazing seeing people literally transform their lives. I've had so many emails this week, so we're going to have probably a long one. Our live calls are only 5 hours long. Literally, I'm not even joking. They are literally 5 hours long. So I don't know how long we'll go for tomorrow, but we'll make it a good one. So thank you, Em. You've just joined, but we're just calling it a day. As soon as I end this, you'll be able to watch on the replay, literally instantly. Not the last one, says Kelly. It is the last one tomorrow, I'm afraid, Kel. But we got 2 bonus ones. We've got one with Chris Stone, who I know you're coming over from LA to shoot with, Kel. And we've got one with a friend of mine, a top high performance physicality, high performance like health and nutrition expert called Luis Diaz. We've got a call with him coming up as well. So we've got 2 bonus calls after tomorrow night's officially final Unit 5 Bulletproof call. So there's still a little bit of extra stuff there after tomorrow. So thank you guys. Thank you so much for listening on the audio experience. Massively appreciate you. Tweet me. Let me know what you think of this at ActOnThisTV, at Ross A. Grant on Twitter and Instagram. Would love to hear from you. Follow me. I'll follow you back. Let me know if I can help you with anything. And I'll catch you guys live Monday night, 9 p.m. Until then, have an amazing time, amazing weekend. Go out there, smash your limiting beliefs out the park, and do something great. All right, until then, bye for now.